Namaste and welcome to the Rasa Cafe Time with JC Yogi from I hope you well and welcome to our afternoon session together. I hope you're enjoying the sunny September. We had a beautiful heat wave in the UK for Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday, and it's still beautiful sunny afternoon. So I hope wherever you are in this planet, good day and welcome. Let's start. So hopefully you received the ingredient for today. I got a spaghetti with a creamy pesto sauce, asparagus, a broccoli, stem broccoli and peas, and I add a couple of things on the ingredients, but don't worry, it's you can watch this again and again if you want. And basically I'm gonna add black olive tomato. Okay, so what I have a water, boiling water, they start to boil with low salt and some oil. It doesn't have to be olive oil. You don't have to use olive oil in this one. We'll use olive oil when we do the vegetables. So I got this boiling to make it a little bit more things quicker. If you prefer mise en place, the cooking should take less time. Yeah. For example, I'm gonna make my pesto. The vegetable doesn't take time to cook, so I'm gonna keep turning. Today, I don't know why my cameras is kind of like not working the way I wanted. So I'm gonna keep turning slightly to see what's happening. Okay, so on the ingredient list, I'm gonna make my pesto. I have in this bowl a rocket and basil. I'm gonna use some walnut in my pesto today. You can do walnut, you can do cashew, you can do pine nut, you can make it nut-free. Hi Wendy and hi Casaris, if I pronounce your name properly. And I have grated cheese. I'm using a vegan style today. So I have vegan style cheese, Parmesan, you buy it anywhere in the shop. I have a cream, non-dairy as well. If you want to make it a dairy product, get full fat cream and get a really good quality Parmesan cheese. So you really want to taste it if you feel like it as well. And here I have garlic, salt and pepper, like I said, love olive oil and a teeny bit of chili, just a teeny bit. Hi Anya, good to see you here. So while the water is boiling, I'm gonna have my hand blender. You probably hear me. Let me see if I can turn the camera slide. Like I said today, you know when you have some days when you got like your camera's not working officially or properly, how you want to set it up. Okay, you can see a little bit here. I don't want it to fall on me. So in this bowl, I'm gonna really blitz the pesto. Now, when you make a pesto, you can store it in the fridge up to a week. Okay, it's not a problem. So it's really nice to have it in the fridge. And, I love it with halloumi cheese, with mozzarella, anything like that you make. And I like it to be coarse as well, so it's up to you. You can make it fine. You can use like a full blender, like Robocop blender, or you can do the stick blender. That's it, that's all it needs. And of course, you can adjust the consistency, you can taste it. I have a little taste first. In here. You taste the garlic, you can taste a bit of chili, you can taste the nuttiness. I'm gonna put this in here for now. I'm gonna come back to this later. Oh yeah. So my water boiling. For this recipe can serve about 3-4 people. You can make it. So this is like roughly about half a kilo or half a kind of like a pack of pasta. Now I'm using spaghetti. You can use tagliatelle. You can use any type of pasta. It doesn't have to be spaghetti. Just like sometimes, we always do spaghetti bolognese. It's great to have bolognese, but it's nice to have different sauce. So, and when you cook the pasta in that water, push it slightly. And then once you push slightly, put the lid on, reduce the heat, and that might take another maybe 8 minutes to cook. If you like your pasta al dente, about 8 minutes. If you want it a little bit more, of course, cook it a little bit more. Okay, my water quickly, because my throat. Hey Annette, good to see you. Hi Emma, good to see you all. Now, vegetable wise, now when you cut in your knife, I'm going to do a couple of videos where I can show you a little bit of knife skills. You make sure if you have a knife, it has to be like this really thick, kind of like on the top, and of course thin on the edge, because that's where it needs to be. And I'm gonna give you highlighted tools how we can sharpen your knife. Need to be really, if the knife is cutting. If you put pressure on the knife, you might hurt your fingers. So I got a pan. I'm gonna heat up first without any oil. I've got beautiful broccoli, stem broccoli. So I'm not gonna use the tip bit, the tip at the top. Now, please don't throw this away. They're yummy as a crudité. They're yummy in your maybe smoothie or drink if you want to. And I'm gonna use this asparagus tip as well. So like half of this, so you don't have to peel them. They're like baby asparagus. So we're gonna start with the asparagus. I'm gonna turn the asparagus. Hopefully you can see me properly. My kitchen is tiny. I'm gonna save these for later. I'm gonna cut the asparagus into a little bit like kind of angle. So they all cook at the, remember, when you cut them, they don't have to be exactly the same. So I'm gonna turn the camera around now because obviously I can see, like, notice you can't see me properly. There you go, now you can see me. Cut it at an angle. And notice how I'm not putting any pressure on my knife. The knife is cutting. So I know you might think, oh my God, the pan is getting so hot. That's okay, we need them. I want to seal the vegetable. I want to really sizzle those vegetables. So, now nearly there with the asparagus. Now keep the asparagus aside. The same with the stem broccoli. I'm gonna cut where the floret is. I'm gonna keep the other bit for some nice crudité. So you can have them, like I say, in your juicy, and you can make them into things. Now, I'm gonna keep the floret. Just gonna make them slightly smaller to make sure they cook equally. Some of them quite chunky. Now the pan, I can hear it getting so hot. Now, put the vegetables, the asparagus, and the broccoli. They start to sizzle without even oil. Then I can use a little bit of olive oil or rapeseed oil, the cold press. So now the spaghetti start to lovely cook. I'm going to separate them. Now I have rocket to finish with. I have, like I say, like non-dairy milky cream. I have sun-dried tomatoes, and I have black olives to add on. So I'm going to cut the black olives in half. This is nice when you have a bite of it, so you don't have the half, the whole of it. And the olives, this sun-dried, a little bit like extra. Just, you know, like nice color in the pasta as well, otherwise it'll be too green. Now if the vegetable is kind of like splashing, put some lid on top. That's okay, keep the high heat. If you sauteed any vegetable on a very low heat, you take the water out. The water will start to come out, and they start to be like nearly boiled and wilted, horrible. We want to keep the crunchiness, to keep basically the flavor and the nutrient about it. So I'm not gonna put much olive, just a little bit of olives. The same, when you buy sun-dried tomato, they're beautiful, juicy. So I'm gonna cut them maybe into 3. Again, I'm not gonna put much, about maybe 4 tomatoes, it's plenty. There you go, so that's gonna be there. Also, when you buy basil, you know, buy them like a pot like this. Because this is gonna go in my garden later on, in the pot. Because this is so, so beautiful, it will grow. Just be aware of the slug, that's all. I had already one pot growing, it was beautiful, I used it a lot, but then the slug got into it before me. So now it's been maybe about a few minutes. Remember, just if you're not used to the heat, on your hand, you can use a tongue for the spaghetti. You really want to separate them in the water. And this recipe doesn't need a lot of sauce. So, like I say, it's so simple. You can prepare everything, and you can just whack them when the sauce ready, when it's ready. So now I need about another minute on the spaghetti. Now the vegetables, I can hear them, beautifully sizzling. Oh, look at that. Okay. So now I'm gonna add the cream. When you add your cream, just be careful. Don't splash on you because it's a super, super hot. The cream goes in. Remember, it's non-dairy cream. Then the pesto. So I'm gonna use kind of like a generous amount of pesto. I'm gonna use about 4 spoons. Really nice spoon there. So give it a nice flavor. So what happens straight away, that turn into nice green color. And if you're not enough flavor there, please add some more. This is yummy. Again, start to bring it to the boil. I'm gonna drain the pesto, the spaghetti out. At the same time, I kept a bit of rocket and I kept as well. And then the Parmesan cheese, I grated some to go as a non-dairy cheese. You can choose either. So I'm gonna put some inside because remember there's some in the pesto. Yeah, it's already. And I'm gonna like shave some at the end. So that starts to lovely thicken. Now, if you're not using the non-dairy cream, some of them they don't thicken up. Then use maybe less. Okay. And if you really, really want to thicken it up, you can use coconut milk. Absolutely okay. It's always good. Okay, so now I'm gonna drain the pasta. So I'm gonna disappear into the sink. Stay with me. I mean, it's up to you. I don't normally. I can take the spaghetti straight and put it over the sauce, whatever. You don't have to wash it. It's up to you. Unless if you do it the day before you want to cook your pasta, you want to really drain it, wash it, put it in a kind of fresh water. Okay, so now this is start to beautifully bubble. Again, you can lower it beautifully. Now I'm gonna add my petit pois. So I have a frozen pea, doesn't have to be anything. And don't add it, always add it towards the end. And then I'm gonna add my olives and my sun. It's gonna like somehow when I send the recipe to Anya, I just thought it's too greeny. I always like to add things at the end. I always come up with things in my mind. And then I had some sun-dried tomato open in the fridge. And I was like, oh, that would be perfect for this pasta. So now, I'm gonna take some of this beautiful spag. My kitchen is just so tiny. In the next house, I'm gonna have a bigger kitchen. And I'm gonna have all the Rasa family coming around for a lovely meal. So, and then everyone else. There you go. So now you see the pasta starts to cook into it nicely. Beautiful. So you give it another 2-3 minutes, not even that, to mix. You can bring the heat a little bit up. So I'm going to clear up. I'm going to keep the cheese, the walnuts. And then strongly advise you with a knife, if you have a really great knife, wash it by hands. This doesn't go in the dishwasher. You don't have to put it in the dishwasher. Really give it a good wash, rinse, dry, put it back in. So prepare a plate, ready. And I use any just basic walnut, basically. It doesn't have to be any Bosch walnuts. So that's coming out nicely. I'm gonna use the tongue. So I really want it to mix. Hopefully, the camera is good. You can see. See, it's not thin. Sorry, it's not thin. Yeah, it's just kind of like the sauce coats all the spaghetti, and it's not a lot of sauce. Like I personally like. I put a lot of seasoning in the salt into the spaghetti when I cooked it into the pesto. So you don't really need much seasoning for this one. So all you're gonna do now, dish out, get your plate, tomatoes, and that's perfect. Asparagus. Coming back on. Yeah, sorry, my internet. Someday all of these recipes are on the Rasa Yoga page. Share them normally on my page as well. So feel free to reach out anytime you like, anytime you feel like you have some maybe you're uninspired and you like some recipe, again, like I say, reach out. I'm happy to share most of my recipe with you, and all this recipe eventually will go onto a Rasa Yoga cookbook, which is coming up. I don't know when, but we'll do. Like I said, I have about 30 recipes so far, and all the recipes that I cook every week with you here live, they will be on the book as well. Namaste, everyone. Thank you so much for watching today. And absolutely, yeah, I know you are. Yes, I'm really sorry for this internet. And I will see you soon. Okay? Lots of love to everyone. Ciao, ciao.